guess one more. I guess what do you think you have to show? Show to the coaches just to have them have that belief in you that you can be ready.
What can you say?
What Shedeur Sanders did, I believe, is okay. People, it's okay. Calm the heck down. I mean, everybody have the right to feel and respond the way they feel and respond. And just because Shedeur Sanders didn't answer the questions in a traditional way, the answer was given. How do you think one is supposed to feel when they're not given opportunity, when they're denied for a promotion? How would you feel if you're not given opportunity and denied for a promotion?
But that don't make his son a scrub. Here's what it does make his son, however. It makes his son an individual that needs to be aware of his circumstances.
On everything that you do when you're a quarterback, I don't care if you're first, second, or third is a job interview. In that league, every single thing you do. And my question to Shedeur would be, are you helping yourself in your own building?
Yo, this your boy EC22, and this is the Fair Weather Fan channel, man. Before we go in the footer, like I always say, like, subscribe, share, but most of all, leave comments, because why we want you to join this conversation. And y'all, I think this is overdue. I gotta address it. Y'all see I'm repping the Cleveland Browns, and it's for a reason, right? It's for a reason when I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns today, because all this mess behind Shedeur is sickening. Before I get into that, let me say this. The Browns organization have not had great success at the quarterback position. Baker was okay. Deshaun Watson was okay prior to injury. But other than that, we just haven't really had the success that most organizations have behind the quarterback position. But this year, if you put things in perspective, whether how it's going to pan out in the future, we don't know. But if you put things in perspective, right, we have Super Bowl winning Joe Flacco as our QB1. Heisman Trophy candidate Dillon Gabriel as our QB2. And the superstar of Jackson State in Colorado, the son of primetime Deion, Shedeur Sanders as our QB3. That is a great position to be in, whether you like it or not. I'm going to call it like that, whether you like it or not. And the problem I have with this whole situation is the media, not social media. Well, some people in social media, right? But not like me, a podcaster. But mainstream media keeps spinning this narrative about this battle, this quarterback competition. And as a fan, it's like, we get it. But let's not make it more than what it is, because at the end of the day, everybody got to compete for their position. Let's not make this all of a sudden a new thing when it comes down to these three quarterbacks. Let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? In the media, y'all quit getting in these guys' face and asking these stupid asinine statements, asking these asinine questions about what they think about this other player. Like they are their own men. Let them worry about what they need to be worrying about. And quit creating this narrative. These are young people, and you got a veteran Joe Flacco. Like let's not do that. But what I'm here to talk about is let me just make this statement as well. So this is my point number 2. You help me, because I haven't been following football for long. Help me understand, since when do we talk to the third string quarterback? I'll wait. No. Forget who they are. I ain't talking about, but since when do we historically talk to the third string quarterback? How many of you know every third string quarterback on every team in the NFL? We know 2 because they're popular, Jameson Winston and Shedeur Sanders. But other than that, we don't know the third string quarterback. Jackson Dart had just took the starting job of Russell Wilson. And guess what, people? Jameson Winston is still QB3. So why is it a surprise to you all when veteran Joe Flacco, just like Russell Wilson, get moved to QB2 and not bring up Shedeur to QB2? whether you're a fan or not, whether you think it's right or not, but help me understand, since when have we moved a QB1 all the way down to QB3 without them being hurt or injured? I have not seen it. Maybe there was some times past before I was able to touch the countertop. I don't know. But I haven't seen it in recent history without a QB being hurt. All right? It makes absolutely no sense to me that y'all making this thing something out of nothing. That the fact that Shedeur Sanders is still QB3. Now, for the Shedeur Sanders fans, I get it. If it's not fair, it's not fair. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair. But at the end of the day, somebody told me, they say, Eric, you giving a lot of energy about the unfairness behind Shedeur Sanders not making the QB2. At the end of the day, Eric, that's what they told me. They say, listen. Because of his draft position, not only by the team that drafted him, but even the draft itself suggests that he's a third-string quarterback. And the level of talent that he already has on the team suggests that. So at the end of the day, quit tripping on his name. He is a third-string quarterback and should get treated as such. So if you don't get the reps out in preseason or get the opportunity in preseason, then don't worry about it, because he, at this moment, is a third-string quarterback and going to be treated as a third-string quarterback. I did not like that tape. But however, the perspective made sense, and so I stood down. So now, why are we back to talking to third-string quarterback if you told me we shouldn't? The word people are using is immature. And to bring context to what I'm saying, if you don't know what's going on, Shedeur was in a conference in the locker room with some reporters, and they asked him a question, and he chose not to say nothing. He chose to mime it. He was moving his mouth, but words weren't coming out. Mime it, whatever, right? And all of a sudden now these big-time analysts are saying that was immature. Y'all stop it. Because what we're not going to do is sit up here and use your platform to attack, and that's what I'm using, a Shedeur Sanders. Because I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Stephen A. Smith, I watch you day in and day out go back and forth and use uncomfortable words towards your co-hosts on your show when they don't agree with you. I watched last year you and Monica Nutt get into an uncomfortable conversation. At times before, I watched you and Malika Andrews get into uncomfortable conversations. Don't let me bring up Max Kellerman and how many times you guys got into uncomfortable conversations. The whole LeBron James situation, uncomfortable situations. And every other uncomfortable situation you've been in, to where you had to come back and make public apologies. For that moment, you was being immature. This kid didn't say nothing. I watch you guys get on y'all show and just go back and forth, screaming at each other, yelling at each other, using names to each other, acting like kids. But you want to say this guy's been immature because he didn't say nothing? Ryan Clark, I watched you and Cam Newton go back and forth. I watched you and RG3 go back and forth. Using words, talking big talk, acting like kids in the locker room. For the point you had to come back and apologize. That's immature. Rex Ryan, I watched you come unhinged when somebody a few years ago had the audacity to compare Robert Salah to you, and you completely lost your mind. Because you didn't want that guy compared to you or spoken in the same sentence as you, and you completely acted immature. You didn't apologize for that. Stephen A., I forgot about the whole situation with who was this recently? Last year with the College Game Day. When Kirk Herbstreit and them guys mentioned First Take, and you allowed Shannon Sharpe to come out there and lose his goddamn mind because of the narrative you created. You brought the question up on your take and watched Shannon Sharpe get out there and basically threaten somebody because of your statement. You didn't have to bring that up, but you chose to brought it up. Immature media, you know what I'm saying? And I can go on and on and on and on. Because y'all use the word immature on Shedeur Sanders, and y'all, when I watch you guys, I love your show, but at the end of the day, all of it ain't professionalism. Now, you may say that's what it is, but it ain't. All of it is clickbait. All of it is entertaining. And entertainment sometimes don't always come across as mature. You think about pro wrestling. Guys sit up there jumping off the top ropes, jumping on each other, hitting each other with goddamn chairs, steel chairs, and all this other stuff. The look of it is immature boys wrestling, but it's entertainment, and I get it. Your little banter back and forth with Michael Irvin talking about his haircut, that's entertainment, but at the end of the day, that's immature goddamn playing the dozens. That's child's play. Let's call it what it is. And all of a sudden now you're going to say Shedeur Sanders is immature because he chose not to say nothing. Y'all are beating this man down while he's already down. What do you think and how do you think he feel when he's not given an opportunity? How do you think he's supposed to feel? You're going to get up in his face with a camera and a microphone and ask him that dumb asinine question. He shouldn't have said nothing. But above all that, why are you talking to a QB3? Since when do we do that? I don't care who his name is. You don't talk to QB3s. But because he's Shedeur Sanders, you're going to break protocol? And to get upset when his man don't respond and call him immature? No. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing it. No, we're not doing it. I'm upset. And this is your boy ranting. And I don't, y'all jump in the comment section if y'all think I'm out. I don't care. I don't care. That young man didn't do anything wrong. That man got 4 million followers on YouTube. If he really wanted to air his grievances, he can take this social media platform and go completely viral. But he chose to be silent. He chose to be a professional. He chose to be patient with this situation and just waiting on his chance and the opportunity to prove himself. And the moment he just chose not to say nothing because y'all asking him in the media a dumb question and he be silent, y'all gonna call him immature. I just don't subscribe to that. That is a narrative that you and the media is trying to portray on this young man. Leave him be. Wait till he gets his opportunity to show what he can do. Then you can critique him. Then you can put the camera in his face. But right now, the kid ain't playing. Don't just leave him alone. It's simple. Y'all are trying to profit off this man's lack of success or his downfall or whatever, and y'all just trying to profit off of it. Y'all keep bringing his name up because y'all want the views, and that's not fair. That is not fair. The only reason why I told myself once the season started that on my podcast, the Fair Weather Fan podcast, that I will not bring up Shedeur Sanders. Why? Because he's a QB3. And if you go back and watch any of my videos, my podcast, the season started, I have not talked about Shedeur Sanders because he's a QB3. If any other chance he got into the game, then I would have something to say. But since then, the season started, he's not gotten the game, and I had no take on Shedeur Sanders. I left it alone. And the reason why I'm coming out right now is because everything I keep hearing on social media and mainstream media, y'all attacking this young man for what he did. If I got to be the one voice of reason and say, you know what, all of y'all are wrong. Every last one of y'all are wrong. Leave Shedeur Sanders alone until he's given the opportunity to prove himself. Will he live up to expectation or not? He got to at least be given an opportunity before you guys have anything to say about him. Keep the cameras out of his face. Just leave him alone. Y'all know what y'all was doing. Y'all knew it was going to be a hot take by asking this man this dumb question after Dylan Gabriel has been named QB1. That's immature. That's petty. That's what that is. That is being extremely freaking petty. Because y'all didn't do that to Jameson Winston, so why do it to Shedeur Sanders? This your boy EC22, and I'm out.